What's up, y'all? What it do, Jizzo Crew? Jizzo Crew, man. That's what we calling y'all, right? Jizzo Crew. Jizzo is my nickname. My name's MJ. Back when I was born, the song popular was Jay-Z. H to the is Feelings on my nigga. And they called me MJ, so it was like M to the Jizzo. It just kind of went together. So the Jizzo community. Only people that close and rock with me know me as Jizzo. It's not put out there anymore. It used to be. So you guys know what it is. A little tight-knit crew. I was just recording my first video back, and I was explaining how my phone's been tripping. You know, I got an older iPhone 13, and my storage hasn't been solid. You know, so now I just try to fix it again so I can record this video, because I was just recording for 5 minutes and it said I lost storage. So that's why I've been slow on the YouTube. TikTok and Snapchat has been going amazing. Specifically TikTok, though. I've been trying to implement on Spotlight, get Snapchat going, but TikTok's been amazing. Getting more sharper. The practice is there. The confidence is there. You know, I feel good. And what I was saying is earlier, before the video cut off, it's the confidence and the vibrations I feel from doing the content creation into like my real life offside the camera. I feel good. The confidence level, my vibrations, the testosterone levels, my focus, the mindset, my health. I feel good. Like, I slowed down. I stopped the weed. I stopped the weed and the vaping. You know, I'm sure everyone does the weed and vaping, but I stopped. I slowed down. I'm not drinking. I'm not doing anything to substitute it. I'm just me. You know, and for a while I was dependent on those things. You know, and I'm not saying it's not okay to use it once or do it here and there and balance it. I think balance is key. And I had to set for myself, you know, getting a pen or a vape pen or even a vape pen, or just a nicotine vape like a Geek Bar. Both of those, man, like, I get it, and I'm gonna balance it. You know, I hit it, I leave it at the house, and I enjoy it. But over maybe a couple of days to a week, now that mug is in your pocket everywhere. And now you're not even getting high off the pen because you're consuming it so much. You know, and now you need it. For me, sorry, some girl's texting me. Me and my fiance, me and my ex-fiance, she was the love of my life. I have to admit. Me and ex-fiance, she broke up with me about 7 months ago. I'm not counting no more. I think it's 7 months. But yeah, you know, I haven't had no real interaction with another female, as far as touching, one-on-one, nothing. You know, I've talked to a few in public, you know what I'm saying, and it ain't really went nowhere. You know, but this one was beautiful. You know, I meet girls on the apps all the time, and you know, you meet them, they text you first, you might text them first, it's good energy, and then boom, disappeared, unad. Say, huh? So, but she was, you know, there's so many beautiful girls, but you know, I just haven't had interaction. I'm a man. It would be nice to sit with a woman in a car, maybe, or go somewhere and get some food, and just, you know, it would. I feel like I would vibrate. It would make me vibrate really well. You know, no homo, energy wise. So, sorry, that was a distraction though. Very beautiful girl though. I think she's like, it attracted me because in Florida, I moved from Dallas to Florida. In Florida, I think the proper word is international. You know, it's very, you know, Texas was a lot more, just felt normal. To me, it just felt normal. I moved from Indiana. Indiana felt very white and black. I moved to Texas, and I was in Dallas, Frisco area. It felt very bougie, and diverse. You had your Asians, you got the Indians, you got the You know, some black people here and there, some white people here and there. It felt diverse. But moving to Florida, and I am. You okay? You good, Bubba? Sorry, talking to my dog. Being in Florida, a little more international, a little more. I get Latina vibes. You know what I'm saying? I get real Latina vibes, and I love that. I get real Hispanic. You know, oh, this person's Dominican. You know, this person's Colombian. This person's Puerto Rican. This person is, you know, all the above. And I can just tell it's a different environment here. And I go to get coffee. I go to 7 Brew to get some coffee, right? In the drive-through, the girl looks at me and she goes, everyone asks this. I'm talking about everyone. The girls mainly, but dudes too. Like everyone. Where are you from? They ask, where are you from? No one's ever asked me that shit in Texas or Indiana. Where are you from? You know, and in my head, I'm like, Indiana. I was born in Indiana. That doesn't answer the question what they're looking for when they ask, where are you from? Or I just moved from Texas. You know, I've been there for 5 years. That's not what they're looking for. So I'll be like, Indiana. I'm from Indiana, but I just moved from Dallas. I was in Dallas for 5 years, but I was born and raised in Indiana. They'd be like, okay. Well, what are you? That's what they're asking. What are you? I'm like, I'm Puerto Rican and Cuban and black. And they'll be like, yeah. And then she started talking in Spanish to me. She's like, yo sapo. Or something like that. She was like, I know. I knew it. You looked a little Dominican. You know, like, I don't know. I feel like it's appreciated out here. Like, it's common. Everywhere else, like, even my ex's family, like, they never asked me, like, what are you? Are you Puerto Rican? It's just like, whatever. You know, my ex told me that. She said with certain hair I could look more black, with certain hair I look like, oh no, you're foreign, you know? In Texas, funny enough, no one said, are you Puerto Rican, Dominican, Cuban? All the people out there, that's what I'm telling you, there's a lot of Indians out there. They thought I was Indian. Oh, are you Indian? You know, so, but now moving forward, not lying to people, but respectfully, just to give them the answer they want. When someone asks me, where are you from? I'm mainly Puerto Rican, so I'm gonna say Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. You know, but I'm Cuban and black as well. You know, I'm just gonna say I'm from Puerto Rico. But it's like when you say you're from somewhere, I don't know. I haven't been to these places, right? When you go to Puerto Rico, is it just like Puerto Ricans out there, like 90%? When you go to Colombia, is it Bogota, Colombia? I learned that in Spanish class in high school. Is Colombia just full of Colombians? Let me know. I don't know. I'm curious. Because they asked, where are you from? You know, I met a dude and I was test driving a car. He works at the Florida Fine Cars. I'm test driving this Mustang. It didn't drive half as well as the one in Texas, so I was like, I'm cool off this. Felt jerky, and I didn't have the best experience that I did in Texas. I was like, I don't even like this car anymore. Dude, he looks a lot like me. Like, I'm talking about a lot like me. He didn't have a beard, but like this dude's like, I don't know. His skin, his face, he freaking looked like me. Where are you from? Not what are you? What's your ethnicity? I usually ask people, what's your ethnicity? Like I met, you know, I'll get into that later, but yeah, he says, what are you? Or where are you? Where are you from? I said, Indiana. He said, oh. He's like, you look Dominican. I'm like, oh, nigga, asking, what am I? What ethnicity am I? I said, oh no, I'm Cuban. I'm my dad's, you know, my grandma's side, they're Cuban and black. And I said, on my other side, I'm Puerto Rican on my mom's side. He said, you look Dominican. Yeah. You know, you speak Spanish? You know, it's a cultural thing. You know, I love it. I love that culture, like being a part of it. You know, it's dope. It's dope. It makes me appreciate who I am a little more. As for so long, not to blame my dad or anything, but you know, for so long I identified as just black. Black. I'm a nigga. I'm a nigga. You know, like that's how I identify. I played football, and the other people that look black, I felt like I looked like them. I was just black. People like my dad, and you know, when the cop stuff was blowing up and freaking what, you know, 2015, 2018, 2017. You know, when you identify, when someone asks you what you are, you say I'm black, because that's what you are. When a cop sees you, they gonna think you black. When some white people see you, they gonna look at you, they gonna think you black. You know, so I was like, okay, shit. You know, when I'm filling out application and shit to work, or anything I'm filling out about myself, and I have to identify myself, I'm black, I'm African American. So a lot of my upbringing, I didn't learn how to speak Spanish when I was young. I didn't listen to Latino music or enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm black. So yeah, you know, it's cool to be out here and get that vibe. Oh yeah, the girl. So my uncle Corey has a restaurant. He's invested in down in Miami, and you know, he had a pretty Colombian girl working there. And he brings me down. You know, I asked her. She was cool. She was real cool. She was beautiful. I didn't really holler at her, speak to her at all until it was time to almost go, and she was bringing a check, and she kind of stood next to me while my uncle was kind of, you know, doing stuff to the check with the partner. And so I was like, shoot, she's standing right next to me. I made eye contact with her real quick. So I was like, you from here? And she was like, no, I'm from Michigan. I said, oh, what you doing out here? She was like, I just moved, you know, like, I said, okay. I said, yeah, I'm from Indiana. And then what happened? What happened? Shit. So I was like, yeah, I'm from Indiana. She's from Michigan. Said she moved out here because she broke up with her boyfriend. He was doing life insurance. I was like, what? I said, I was doing life insurance. She said she did it too with her boyfriend. I said, how'd you like it? Scam. I said, that's what I thought too. You know, unless you're the top of the top, like you're the investor that owns the freaking agency. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. And so it was interesting. We were vibing. I was like, wow. She had that. I'm traumatized from life insurance. You know, my dad and his business athlete started it, and I was like, oh, I got loyalty. I'm gonna be at the top. They're gonna put me as a manager or leader. I just gotta earn it myself. Stay consistent. But I was broke as shit those 2 years. Broke as shit. Yeah, I was making money from sitting on my ass, but I was broke as shit. And was I gonna be stupid to think it was gonna be different 3 years down the road, hoping it would change? You know, maybe the business owner brother that's at the very, very top that he first hired, it will make a decent money right now. Or maybe in 2 years it'll make some good, solid money. Will it sustain forever? I don't know. But I'm sure he'll make money if they keep investing into it because he's at the top. Now, for myself, I was broke as shit, you know, and I didn't see it scalable. I'm hiring 5 people, you know, periodically, and no one's staying because it's not stable. I just had the vision and the drive that I wasn't gonna leave or back out of it. I wanted that outcome. I saw a guy in Miami driving SVJs that was in the same company I was in. And he moved to Miami and was able to afford his rent. He was able to get a new car, nothing crazy. He was able to move forward. I'm like, shit, nigga, I can't. Physically, I can't. Is my mentor able to do it? Nope. My mentor's homeless. He doesn't have a car. And then the person at the very, very top left the military. Wife has money. Her father passed and gave her life insurance. Like, he has time. He has capital. So it was just like not realistic for where I was trying to get to. But I do understand the math and the numbers of it, and I think depending on someone's situation, you can jump into it. It's 100% commission. You can jump into it, but just make sure that, man, you're with the right company. If the leads and resources are not constant, like I don't care to make 200 calls a day. I did that consistently. But when you're doing 200 calls a day and it doesn't, and you can't make it make sense with the people that are answering, the ratio, and then you're a hard worker like me, so then you start doing 300 calls, and then you start looking at it like, I'm making 300 calls and I only have 100 people to call. Does that make mathematical sense? Right? So I would just say be with the right system. Be with the right company. Because I do believe that it can go well for people, but you have to be with the right company. And yeah, can you sacrifice some years? If you can, amazing. We had someone that joined, and under different leadership, that person was able to make him 10K in his first month. Amazing. I would stay even long. If I made 10K in my first month, I didn't even make, I think I made like $500 my first month. If I would have made $10,000 my first month because I was under a good leader and I was just following him, I probably wouldn't have left either. Now that person, isn't making 10K every month, no. But if things go well and if people can stay and sustain and get 10K their first month too, you're going to be having people hooked and you're going to get paid and they're going to have more vision and drive, and it could be fruitful. But my experience was, man, I'm hiring more than other people. I'm a good producer on compared to the whole agency. Like, I'm a producer. I produced well, consistent. And when I saw that I couldn't produce consistent anymore, when we switched to a different agency, I said, there's some inconsistency. And then when I seen my agents that were following the same systems but weren't getting the results, I was like, what's going on? I was so confident they'd be able to follow my results, work as hard as I would, and they would get this outcome. But things have changed. So we changed to a different agency, and now the outcomes were different. Less leads. The leads were worse. They were worse consistently. It was just weird things. No more unions. No more policemen, nurses, firefighters to call. That shit fucked me up, because those were the people that had money. And we know the economy's terrible right now. So that's how it was, man. I saw a beautiful girl lives in Austin, Texas. She was just visiting Miami. Nice Asian woman. She's young. She just dropped out of college to do life insurance. Now, I think she's with a great company. I'll be honest. It looks like she's with a great company. And I'm all for the entrepreneurial route. I wouldn't tell her not to do it. It's a first step, just like it was for me. It's my first business I tried. Excuse me. It's the first business I tried. But I just hope she's with the right company, because my experience was terrible as shit. When we went to the new agency, he was like, oh my gosh, you guys had the worst start you could ever have in this industry. And then when I saw that new dude join that I told you about under the new leadership, and he made 10K his first month, and he's getting bonuses I haven't got yet, and now he's training people and getting paid the way he's supposed to get paid. It was stuff like that where I was like, yo, so it was bad. It was bad. I don't think that's for me. I think I respect people that do it. I don't think sales is for me. One thing I didn't like is you have to sell to make money. You have to sell to make money. Like, you don't get to a point where you can just stop selling. Unless you like become an SGA, which is like owning the whole company. Like my dad's business athlete, right? But anyone else, like, you have to sell to get those bonuses, to get the bonuses from the trainees. Like, you have to sell a minimum. And that minimum was 3,000 of annual production. It wasn't easy to hit that shit. And I'm like, that's a problem. We should be able to hit this shit easy. Not, oh, well, you gotta call your own leads. You gotta find some referrals. And that's what it pushed me to. I was doing good selling to policemen, nurses, firefighters, construction workers. And then when they switched agencies and we had bad leads, and they were telling us to focus on personal referrals, people we knew. I was getting referrals you know. But it was a game. I had so much trust and commitment in it, and I did it long enough to hang my hat. You know what I'm saying? Like, to not be like, oh damn, what if it would have worked, or what if, you know, what if I would have waited one more year and it just would have blew up and been clicking, right? What if I waited one more year and then. But honestly, man, like, I want to build independency. I don't want to be working for that company. I don't want to be having to, you know, it's not a quote unquote boss, but you got an upline. Not a quote unquote boss, but you got an annoying ass upline. You know, and the chain of communication is so. It's like, nah, nigga, nah. Let me just build my own shit, flex on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, not thinking I need them to be able to be this. No, that's what I'm saying. For that girl, this is her first opportunity going into a business, and that's how it was for me. The first 1099 opportunity, and for me, once I did 1099, I knew I'm a 1099 motherfucker. Straight up, I'm a 1099 motherfucker. Not no 9-to-5 worker. I'll use it to get my bag and to use that to invest into my 1099. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it's money in that mug. If you with the right agency, I can only imagine you make 10K your first month. They do things correct. Like, you can make some good money. Will it be consistent? No. Not unless you're that big person, that top, and you just always make a certain amount of money no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Because you built a pyramid scheme. Literally. You built an agency, a pyramid, and you're at the top. That's literally what it is. It was sad because you come in, you try to just produce, and you can't. You can't produce consistently. So now you got to think about hiring people. Hire, post, attract people, content creator, do this, do. Nah, nigga, I thought this was a skill. I thought this was a skill that I could train people, and they would learn it just like me, and they would make money. And the whole time, I'm not even making fucking money. That's how too deep I was looking across the vision. Now when I'm doing the content creation, I'm analyzing and critiquing things every couple days. Shit. I'm watching things. Okay, that didn't work. Let me tweak it this way. Let me research this. Let me look at. I'm not doing the same fucking shit and going, damn, I'm not even getting paid, but you know, we're gonna keep posting because when we get there, we go, no. What is the reality looking like? I was a great leader, great communicator, showed up every day, hard worker, called more people than anybody else. The referral stuff, I really invested into it too. I was getting 10 referrals. I was calling those referrals. Some of them would answer, and they would just no show. They would talk to the person. No, they're gonna try to sell you X, Y, and Z. They're gonna try to, and then they just wouldn't show up. That was just the name of the game. Name of the game. Enough about that. So yeah, we was talking. Me and the shorty at the restaurant was talking about that. So we clicked on that. I said, yeah, I just moved out here. She's like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I do health insurance. I did life insurance, but I do health insurance now. I was like, from the house, and I said, but I'm in college. You know, I'm in school. She said, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, I'm being a nurse. You know, I got 3 years left. And I was like, oh, that's dope. That's dope. I said, I really don't know nobody like that. You know, you got Instagram? She's like, yeah, Instagram. Gave me the Instagram. She said, yeah, me and my friend was a girl. She's like, we're always looking to, you know, meet new people, hang out. And I was like, okay, bet, you know. Don't have a fucking car, and she lives an hour and a half away, but she's beautiful out my fucking mind. I was like, damn, I'd marry this girl. Just emotions, but I was like, damn, she's beautiful. So yeah, I mean, vibing, you know, but that was it. And I'm just saying, I like how you can meet a girl that looks white, but she's speaking Spanish. You know what I'm saying? Like that, to me, that's attractive. I like it out here, and I've landed and I fit in, but I'm American. I speak American. I'm trying to learn Spanish. I talk to my grandma in Spanish. I'm on Duolingo trying to learn Spanish, and I'm learning pretty well. So I like it out here, man. My friend wants me to come to Arizona, just like my friend in Texas, right? My friend in Texas wanted me to move in with him, right? Roommates can make it cheaper. You know, you're paying $1,400. We move in together. We both paying $800 a piece, bro. That's saving you a lot of money, and it could save me a lot of money instead of getting my own apartment. But I'm able to go to my grandma's, have my own room, rebuild my life. Not the sexiest, not the sweetest. Am I comfortable or thinking of this long term? No. Got a job lined up. I'm trying to make money now, but I have this opportunity to rebuild myself as a 25-year-old. And I love my best friend. I think me and him both love content. We both have a similar mindset, 1099 entrepreneur. And we did life insurance together. We got the same traumas. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my boy. If I had money right now, I'd be going to visit. I'd be going to Arizona and Indiana. I'd be visiting the people I care about. Not to live, not to move there, not to escape. Because I built myself and now I can go do things I want to go do. So when he asks me to, MJ, we can move to Arizona. What's the word? I got my apartment. You can have the air mattress. Give it 2 weeks. You get a job. You want to plan on getting a 2-bedroom together. It's just a big commitment for me. And I just came out of a 5-year relationship. I had 3 apartments with her. Attempted 3 different apartments. And it's like, I had that partnership and that commitment and that I don't know if I want to jump into another commitment like that. And that's why I haven't moved into my mom's with her husband. I don't want that, that type of commitment expectations. Like here, live with my grandma, I handle everything. I respect her. I clean everything. I'm in my room. Like, it's almost like I don't live here. It's cool. It's living. I think God gave me this for a reason. And it's not like I'm over here just being comfortable, getting high, looking for girls, working just a regular job. Like, no, I'm trying to literally build myself. Lost my freaking fiance at 24 in 2025. And now I'm rebuilding myself at the age of 25. I would advise this. If you're in high school, if you're in college, not telling you to drop out, not telling you not to go to college. If you're in high school, try a 1099 opportunity. Try it. For me, I didn't work all of high school. I played football. I was going to go to college, play football, and I was hopefully going to go to the NFL. Realized being kind of shorter and the statistics and just looking at things, I was like, the chances of me going to the NFL are very, very slim. Slim. And, I forgot where I was going with that. I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, they were slim, just because of my height, the statistics and what you look at, who gets drafted and the numbers, and just looking at the game. And my dad just told me, being in the business, you probably go to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? But you could do decent in college. You could do And I didn't want to. Oh, and that's what I was saying with the 9 to 5. So I worked my 9 to 5 in college, first job. Got my girlfriend, got 9 to 5. She worked at Wendy's all her life in high school, and now I'm getting my first job. And I was like, this is cool. I'm getting paid a lot. I'm like, damn, I could do a lot with this 300. Until me and her started doing things, and I was like, ooh, hold on, this is how life hits? Okay, and I'm trading my time for this? Okay, I started seeing shit. I want more from my life. Let me finish college. Fuck that. I don't want that lifestyle. But really, college is the same damn thing. You're just at a little higher paying job. Same fucking lifestyle. And then God bless my dad. He gave me that 1099 opportunity. I dropped out of school, stopped with school. Come on. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into that yet. But I dropped out of school with the 1099 opportunity. And even though I wasn't making money, I was like, this is what I want for my life. Because imagine if I was making money. I have control of my time. I have a skill. I have a business. And other people are just scared to do it. Other people don't have the same mindset. They don't grow every single day. So I just knew it was for me. My speech to people, I was very passionate about when I would interview people for the life insurance. So I was a manager. I would tell them, big thing. Spoke with a lot of conviction. I said, hey man, I was working 9 to 5s. I hated that shit. It's not for me. I'm not doing that for another 20 years. That's not gonna be my life. I want it different. And so I sit on my butt and I make the same amount of money or more that I make at that 9 to 5. I ain't going back to that. And then you could become, then you can make X amount of money, and you could build, and I was like, there's no fucking way. I spoke with conviction. Everyone was like, man, I feel that. I hate my 9 to 5, bro. I hate my job, bro. I'm about to come tap in with you, bro. I'm about to, But in reality, I was just trying to chase the vision so hard. I was chasing the vision so hard, but in reality, it wasn't stable. They all joined. They're going to be upset, frustrated, they're not making enough money to pay their bills they have. And they work hard, and they show up in blazers and suits. But it's like, hey, make 200 calls. I only have 50 leads. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta make it make sense. So, but yeah, just wanted to get on here and tap in with y'all a little bit. I do plan on getting like a camera. Not gonna go super expensive, but some type of camera where I can better record, you know, longer and efficiently by not using my phone. But yeah, you know, this is a rebuild. 24, I lost my fiance. I thought that was my freaking future. I wanted that. I wanted to put kids in her. I never wanted to have kids in my life until with her. And I lost her, and now I'm restarting. And first thing I did was enroll into college. I'm going to college. Fuck this life insurance. Fuck this entrepreneur. It's too risky. It's too risky. I need something that's consistent. Because I was traumatized. And so I did that. You know, I got back into school. I'm trying to make things better for myself, secure. And then I dropped out of school. When the emotions calmed down, when I knew she wasn't coming back, when I started thinking about myself, and when God started talking to me, I was allowing God to talk to me. No, this ain't it. This not what I want. I'm running back to it, but that's not what I want. That's not what's been aligned with me. It's been against my wire this whole time, and that's why it's not going well. I saw my dad being an entrepreneur, and I saw my mom's lifestyle. My mom's lifestyle looks comfortable. I've been said, hey, if I made her money, had the car, the apartment, I would be fine with life. That's not the truth anymore. And that was never the truth. I don't know why I was telling myself that. And as I got older in college, I saw my mom and my dad, and I said, I want my dad's lifestyle. Freedom of time, more money, enjoy better things. But, you know, it was harder maybe. It was more stressful. It took more consistency. It took you to create something. People were like, wait, how'd you do that? How'd you do this? How'd you do that? Because you didn't just go get a 9 to 5. That's easy, right? And, oh, your 9 to 5 pays you more than me. Oh, you're lucky. I gotta find a better job. I got no. This person created something. I don't work. No, I get paid for for posting videos, monetizing. I did some collaborations with this and that, and I own a little bit of this business. Wow, that's me. That's me. Finding that way, you know, and I can't rock with the other way. Yeah, I can go work and stack my bag, but I can't rock with the other way as far as who I am and what I'm pursuing. Like, oh, I'm just pursuing trusting God and going to this job every day, and He's gonna create a better opportunity for me. Like, I hope so. That's amazing. I hope so. Great, working hard and showing up every day like you should. But don't you want more for yourself? I mean, God's just not gonna put it in front of you or give you $1 million or give you 200K or whatever it is that you're hoping He'll improve your to that next level. You gotta work for it and trust Him. Work with God. It's within you. He's got you. It's already in you, but it's within you. Put Him first, and it's within you. Not, oh, God's gonna do it for me. God, it's already done. Yeah, it's already done, but if you don't reach that 100% potential like He intended you to, you ain't gonna see what's done. So, but I'm gonna be back on here with you guys. The plan is get a computer. I'm sorry, I got a computer, camera, so I can just record everything I'm doing. You know, and I can have my phone, and we can talk, and we can plan something. I have an idea. You know, I ain't gonna spoil them, but I got some good, healthy ideas. So yeah, you know, day in the life of someone that's becoming a straight entrepreneur. I'm not even gonna call it just a trader. I'm not just gonna call it a TikToker. Like, entrepreneur is what I'm gonna freaking call it. I'm an entrepreneur. I do this well. I do that well. I do this well. Right? You could be versatile. You could be like LaMelo Ball. You don't gotta be that corner shooter like Klay Thompson. That's an amazing shooter. Gets paid well. He's great. But you don't have to put yourself in that box. You don't. I looked up growing up to DDG and to Shea Frost. What basketball players who I like: LaMelo Ball, Curry, Bron. It's not versatile. It's not one style. It's a versatile player. Great. He's great. That's what you call him. He's great. He built this business, right? Like a great entrepreneur. He built that business. It led to this. It led to that. It led to this. Like he kept growing. It didn't just stop. He didn't get lucky. It's him. He's him. Thanks to God. God is within him. You know what I'm saying? So we'll be back on here. I love y'all. Jizzo crew. Stay smooth, y'all.